it the first time I read it. So you're hoping that by making me read it again, I will like it more, and then you can slowly draw me into your obsession with it.
First of all, was I right?
Excuse me, I did like it more the second time.
It took me 2 reads when I was a kid, too, to like it. But that's because I think the second and third are way better. But also, obsession is a strong word. I liked it in high school when I read it the one time. And then I liked it again when I read it as an adult.
You told me this was your favorite book series.
I think we did this last week on the pod, where I gesture my hand at the nearly complete 72 novel Animorphs collection.
Now, did you tell me that this was your favorite thing? This was your favorite series in college because you didn't want to reveal that Animorphs was your favorite?
It's probably because it was the most recent thing I had read.
You read a lot when we were in college.
I read a lot of assigned things in college.
That's true.
I didn't read for fun, except for these books one summer. Like, I think a summer or two before I met you. Actually, it might have been the summer we met. It might have been 2010.
You read... You're dating us, babe. No,
we're not dating anymore. We're married now.
Anymore.
Not that easy. Do we need to get Hello Divorce on as a sponsor?
Oh my god, can we get Hello Divorce? I want Hello Divorce.
Hello Divorce does not sponsor this episode of Soon to Be a Major Motion podcast. I am Billy Beck.
I am Codie Beck.
And we are your hosts on this season of the show where we watch movies that are based on books and read books that were turned into movies. This season is on YA novels that were completely ruined by a film.
Yes.
And... before we get into today's topic, before we continue talking about today's topic, How have you been?
I've been fine. I yelled at a coworker today, and I feel bad about it.
You also physically abused a coworker multiple times today. Are we going to talk about that?
That's funny, though. Okay, so, for those of you who have never met me, you don't understand how I play the game Punch Buggy.
You play to win. Yes. And not by count, by just forcing the other person to go, I quit this stupid game, fuck you.
I win by KO, baby. KO or submission.
I'm undefeated in Punch Buggy, 35 knockouts. 14 technical knockouts.
The other thing you need to understand is that I am the younger sibling by a decade plus of two people that were in the military. I had to defend myself, and I always resorted to the quickest way to get me out of whatever was happening, which usually meant, yes, I fought dirty. So back to Punch Buggy. I'm not good at tempering my force. And today, we happen to be on our daily walk to the coffee shop. This coworker, who is one of my legitimately best friends, was walking beside me like a step and a half behind, and I saw the Punch Buggy, so I dropped back, put my weight on one foot, and swung.
You didn't just see a Punch Buggy. This is a Punch Buggy you know in the neighborhood. You prepare for this Punch Buggy. You seek this specific vehicle out every time you make the half a block walk from your office to your coffee shop.
To be fair, also, he has other people helping him and still can't fucking beat me.
But we didn't all drive a Punch Buggy in college, so we're not used to looking for one.
This is an old one, too. This is like an 80s one.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
It also has a personalized license plate. So...
And that license plate is...
So I hit him with enough force that the person walking beside him flinched.
They thought they were next.
I hit him on the way back.
I'm gonna have to buy him flowers next time we hang out.
But, this coworker, after I connected, I was like, oh, I'm sorry, that was harder than I intended. And
when he picked himself up off the sidewalk, he said...
ow. I did apologize. And then about an hour and a half later, I'm sitting at my desk looking at a TikTok, and he comes over and flicks TikTok off of my screen because we're basically siblings at this point. And I tried to intercept his motion, and I, being a female, I'm currently trying to grow out my nails, so my nails are a little bit longer than they usually are, and I caught his hand with just my nails and clawed his hand.
To ribbons, you say?
I apologized for that, too.
How did you apologize exactly, Codie?
I said, I'm sorry. I was just trying to smack your hand. I didn't mean to catch you with my nails.
Anyway, I'm going to the vending machine. Can I have $1 for a soda?
So about another hour later, I'm getting ready to go to lunch.
He's back from the hospital.
I didn't break skin. He was fine.
Just bones and spirit.
His spirit's already broken.
Blood vessels in his arm.
We worked in call center together. So, one of the very first things that we bonded over was I made a dead mom joke at him.
So you started with the psychic damage and then moved on to bludgeoning and slashing.
Yes. So I was getting ready to go and I realized I didn't have any cash on me, which is funny considering I work in a financial institution. So I said, hey, I know I spent all morning abusing you, but do you have $1 that I can use for the vending machine?
And he was so scared, he gave it to her.
He even gave me a good crisp one so the machine would take it.
Yeah, because he didn't want your rage coming back if it didn't.
He did also specify, he wanted me to clarify what I was purchasing with it, because he wasn't going to give it to me if he didn't like my soda choice.
And he knew damn well it was a Dr. Pepper.
Yes, he did. So, he's fine. It's fine. That's not the coworker I yelled at, though. So anyway, how was your day? Did you commit any crimes today?
Oh, I wish. I would have. I considered it. I had one of those, like, day and a halves at work. That's just like, why the fuck do I do this shit to myself? I work in a company in purchasing and receiving. And that means when a truckload of products comes in, I'm in the truckload counting the product to make sure it's all there before my warehouse team, diligent as they are, put shit away so that I can't find it. So at 3:15 yesterday, a truckload backs in with 59 pallets aboard.
And what time do you leave for the day?
3:35.
Sorry, what time are you supposed to leave for the day?
Oh, 4.
Oh.
I get there like 25 minutes early and leave 25 minutes early because boss don't care. As long as my shit gets done. So I'm good at my job. So I only worked 5 minutes overtime counting that truck. But that meant this morning, I get in. It takes me about an hour to receive that truck, while our own trucks are on the dock getting loaded up for the day's deliveries. And another truck backs in that I need to unload and count. And my boss calls me and he's like, it's here. I told him 45 minutes. Cool. Then another truck pulls in. So I have 2 trucks waiting for the dock. Over the course of today, I received 5 trucks and processed 6 trucks of merchandise. And the one thing I was grasping onto all day was Manchester City women were playing the 4th of 4 straight games against one of the best women's teams in the world, Chelsea. This game was the second leg of a Champions League quarterfinal, and we were leading 2-0 after the first leg. Only team to beat Chelsea this year. In any competition, I believe. And we gave up 3 goals in the first half. So, I'm ready to rant. Luckily, I watched a movie last night.
You sure did.
That is giving me many reasons to rant. Codie, what book have you been reading?
I read the first of the His Dark Materials trilogy, The Golden Compass by Phillip Pullman.
Which I found out last night was released in other territories, and I know people out there listen in other territories, like the UK, where this book was published as Northern Lights.
Oh yeah! I forgot about that.
Yeah. So, you read The Golden Compass, which we being Americans, and since the film is called that, we're going to call it The Golden Compass. Did you know they made a movie out of it?
I did, actually.
Oh boy, how did you find out?
So my introduction to this series was my uncle, ex-uncle, I think they're in the process of getting divorced now. he was a shit stirrer. So he, knowing that my parents were quasi-religious, purchased this series for me, this trilogy, as a lovely set, and gave it to me for Christmas in, I don't know, I probably was about 12.
Okay.
So I had this, and I never really read them because I was into other series. I wasn't really a sci-fi, and this kind of struck me as sci-fi just because of the name. And it was a male author, and I tended not to read male authors because I assumed that the stories were going to be from the point of view of men or of boys, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to read girl books. Yes, I was a misandrist from a young age. And then years later, probably like, the movie was what, 2008? 2007. So yeah, a couple years later, I remember seeing that they were doing a movie out of this book that I had never read. I was like, oh, that sounds neat. And so I tried to read it and got about 3 chapters in before I gave up.
Yeah, it's a bit of a slow burn.
And so, yeah, I got about 3 chapters in and I was like, where the fuck is the bear? And gave up.
So
what was your introduction to this?
So this is one of the few that I've actually read. And I didn't see the movie till I watched it last night. I was in 7th or 8th grade, and I had a friend who, like me, little weird kid, we got along swell. He was reading it, and he let me borrow his copy to read. So I was hesitant at first, because like you said, you thought it was sci-fi, you weren't into sci-fi. I liked sci-fi. I thought it was fantasy. I didn't like fantasy, so it took me a bit to get into it. But I read it once and was like, okay, that's fine. And I don't remember why, but then I went back to it and read it again, and then finished the trilogy. And one of either the first or second time after I watched it, because was the style at the time, I would fuck around on AOL and go to old IMDb, before it is what it is now, and would poke around, like, looking for, like, I kept looking up, like, information on Artemis Fowl before that came out. And because I was reading that at that age too, and like looking up like the sequel to Kung Pao, is that ever gonna come out? It's on IMDb, they're working on it. And one I typed in one day was The Golden Compass, and this would have been about a year or two after it was first, like after New Line bought the rights. And just trolling the forums of the page for The Golden Compass as fans were reacting to casting decisions, which we'll talk about, and other things like that, looking forward to it. But it took so long to come out that by the time it finally did, I'd graduated high school and was in college and saw a trailer and went, ugh, nah. Do you want to see the trailer that made me go, ugh, nah?
I feel like I remember this trailer, but yes, I do.
Cody, let's watch a trailer.
What is this?
It's an alethiometer. It tells the truth. You are meant to have it. You keep the alethiometer to yourself. It's of the utmost importance to yourself, to all of us, and perhaps to all creation.
I propose to discover a world much like our own in a parallel universe.
That is heresy.
That is the truth.
Are you familiar with the prophecies of the witches?
You think she is that child? She must be found. War is coming, Lyra.
Her loyalty will be put to a proper test.
I need to go north and fight.
We protected her as long as we could.
You have no idea what's at stake.
Figuring on joining this turkey shoot? Yes, I have a contract with a child.
purpose.
Lyra Belacqua is an orphan girl being raised at Jordan College. When she sneaks into a secret funding meeting featuring her Uncle Azrael and a mysterious particle called dust, she is whisked away on a whirlwind adventure to the north by a lady named Coulter. Along the way, she receives a truth-telling golden compass, meets a Texan and an armored bear, and unravels a government conspiracy to kidnap children and separate them from their souls. You know, for kids. So, a bit oversimplified, sure. But, like we talked about with Aragon, I was like, what shitty movie did we watch recently?
So, fun fact.
There's an ad for Aragon on the back page.
Yes.
Oh, that's stupid. But like we talked about with Aragon, this is the first of a planned trilogy. The trilogy was completed and expanded on in books, and this film trilogy was not completed, which we'll talk about why. So it has to do that fine walk of be a self-contained story while also setting up the larger picture.
So I actually have a question about that.
Yes.
Let's just go straight into the ending. Because the ending of this book, great ending for a book. Terribly unsatisfying ending for a movie. Because it is literally blatantly pick up the next book, buy the next movie ticket. The ending of the book, which, judging from the face that you're currently making at me, is not going to be what the ending of the movie is.
What's the ending of the book, Codie?
The ending of the book is Lord Asriel, who is actually her father.
Dun, dun, dun! And guess who her mom is?
Her mom is Nicole Kidman.
Wait, what?
Lord Asriel murders her best friend and uses the energy of the nuclear reaction of killing someone, where does that sound like something, to bridge the gap into the next world. And Lyra follows him.
Mm-hmm. So, having read this novel multiple times and knowing where the franchise goes, at the end of the movie, they're up in Lee Scoresby's airship, and it's Scoresby and Serafina Pecola and Yorick the bear and Lyra and Roger, and Lyra and Roger are having like a nice moment where he's like, you came and rescued me, and she's like, I promised I would, which at no point in the movie do I ever think she actually promises she would. She doesn't find out that he got kidnapped until she picks up some trash in Coulter's house that has his name on it. But
okay.
Yeah, I know, right? So they're having this nice moment where he's like, or they're like, we've got adventures ahead, and he's like, I'm gonna get some sleep, and I'm like, this poor child's about to get murdered. I'm about to watch this child get murdered. To set up there's credits. Why are there credits here? Where's the end of the fucking book? The incredible ending that opens up the universe to, I don't know, a sequel that everyone wanted to see and they wanted to make.
So, you had the option of ending on a blatant cliffhanger, or of opening your next movie with a brutal fucking murder and betrayal.
Yep.
And you chose open your next movie with a child murder.
That was the plan. That was gonna open Subtle Knife, was Roger getting the fucking axe. Apparently they filmed some of it, but the director estimates it would take like $17 million to do a director's cut, and he's like, no one's gonna buy that. Which, he's right. I'll give him that. But yeah, fucking wild choice. Not the wildest choice this movie made.
Oh boy, okay.
So, I mentioned during our cold open, it's a bit of a slow burn.
Yes.
Would you agree?
Yes.
Like, about how far in do you even find out what the Golden Compass is?
It's like kind of wrapped up in the first act twist.
Okay.
The book is roughly divided into 3 sections, and like the first act, because it is, of course, all the exposition, it is significantly longer than the rest. The division is, just for pages wise, part 1 is 140 pages. Part 2...
And that's like until she leaves Jordan College?
No.
Oh, that...
Part 1 is until she gets to...
Oh, is all of London through?
Yeah, it's up to the spies getting murdered and her getting kidnapped and sent to the child cutting factory.
I didn't realize it was that much of the plot. Okay.
Yep.
So it's the end of, or it's partway through that she finds out about the Golden Compass.
Yes. Yeah, it's about chapter 6.
Okay.
Because that's when she starts interacting with
And that's the first time you, the reader, learn about the Golden Compass.
Yes, because it's been given to her, but she doesn't know what it is. And she doesn't start to use it until then.
Okay. When while reading the book, and this is just a you thing, not a book thing, when did you realize, the first time you read it, what daemons were? And I'm going to pronounce them demons, or daemons. Fuck you, Phillip Pullman. Demon is wrong. There's an A in that word for a fucking reason. When did you first realize the exact truth about what daemons are?
I kind of knew going in, because I was an adult and I had talked about, the first time I fully read it, I understood what they were. I didn't really pick up on it because I didn't read enough of it the first time I tried to read it.
Okay, and you'd gotten a few chapters in.
Yeah, I want to say I probably would have figured it out that they weren't like weird pets. Probably about the 3rd or 4th chapter.
Okay. At any point reading it, and I know you've read the sequels. No, you haven't? Oh, cool. At any point reading this, without knowing what I've told you, did you ever get the impression that this was a parallel universe and not just a fantasy setting?
Until So the first time I read it, the first couple of chapters, no, I did not. Reading it the second time, I did, solely because of the first chapter where he's talking about seeing a different universe. And I'm like, oh, because of the way that he's setting up this, because of the way that he's talking about this isn't our quote unquote the real world. This is this is a parallel universe. He's setting the story in there. And it's kind of like, because at the point that I started reading Golden Compass the first time as an adult, I had read George R.R. Martin. So I'm used to the idea of setting up a world that is similar but has its own rules.
Yeah.
And that is, as much as I have some issues with Phillip Pullman's writing, he does a very good job of introducing unfamiliar terminology and don't telling you.
Right? It's one of my favorite things about reading this book, especially the first time through the series, was how slowly things get revealed to you as to what they really are. And it's like you were saying, they'll just use the in-universe terminology.
And you kind of pick it up from...
And you kind of pick up from context clues. Oh, are they talking... They're talking about this. Oh, and it just recontextualizes entire conversations.
He's very good at almost using defamiliarization as a concept, and then when it clicks, you feel really smart.
So you know how this movie opens?
I do not. Tell me.
This movie opens with, I shit you not, fucking opening narration of, in a universe parallel to ours, where people's souls exist outside of their bodies in the form of demons, powered by dust. Which is a mystical thing. I don't remember how they explain dust. But
that's literally the mystery.
I'm not even done. No. I'm not even fucking done. And they're like, and this dust helps this thing called I don't remember how they pronounce it in the movie. I always pronounce it alethiometer. But the alethiometer, Golden Compass, a truth-telling machine, of which only one remains, and only one girl can read it. Lyra Belacqua. And then the movie starts.
That's not even the most interesting thing about her!
But that, all of the fun of reading that book is just taken from you the moment the film starts.
Wow.
Right?
Okay. So this actually gets at something that I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Who is the intended audience of this book? Because technically, it's a young adult book. Mm-hmm. Because it's primarily from the point of view of Lyra, with a couple other different things from the adults around her.
Yeah.
Exposition, that kind of thing. But the bulk of the book is from her point of view. Mm-hmm. So technically, by that definition, it is a young adult book.
Sure.
It is not written for children or young adults.
Not at all. I first read the series when I was I first read the first one 7th or 8th grade. I read the series as a whole in 10th, I think, for the first time. So I would have been 14, 15. And I read it again about 10 years ago, maybe? So my mid-20s. And I got so much more out of it in my 20s than I got in my teens.
It is a coming-of-age book, but it is about the bittersweet nostalgia of not realizing what coming of age is until you're already through it.
Yeah.
And I feel like my view on why they made that bananas choice in the movie is that they're like, oh, this is for children and we don't trust our audience.
All right, let me pull out my notes that I was taking while watching. First line, wow, open with a subtle knife tease. Because it opens in our universe with a window as it's described in subtle knife. Fuck you, first of all, not giving me the subtle knife. And then, next line, and narration explaining the world, all caps, not needed, show don't tell, holy shit. And then, what was it you said, trusting your audience?
Yep.
I know I wrote that exact phrase somewhere. Oh, and then the opening scene is Azrael doing his, funding meeting?
Yes.
Azrael just doing the exposition. Again, lack of trust in the audience. However, it wasn't just lack of trust in the audience. New Line Cinemas... I have to talk about the production if we're going to talk about this. New Line Cinemas bought the rights to this picture in 2002 off the success of the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Which, wildly good adaptation that made some interesting and strong leaps from the source material.
Sure. But New Line didn't see it that way. They said, ooh, another trilogy we can make a lot of money off of. So, the trailer we just watched opened with, in 2001, we brought you Middle Earth or something like that. And it's the one ring, floating in a black void. And then it transforms into the golden compass and lands in snow.
Yeah.
They're trying to do Lord of the Rings. How does Fellowship of the Ring open?
It opens with Galadriel, right?
Galadriel
and her voiceover.
In the times before, I don't remember the fucking lines. I'm not that much of a nerd. But in the times before rings were made, 3 for the elves and 5 for the dwarves, 7 for men, or 9 for men, or whatever it is, and 1 ring to rule. She does the whole here's the world you live in. Here's the thing with that: it was short, sweet, and to the point.
Look out,
Toby! Don't mess with Daddy's recording. And we're back. In my attempt to prevent Toby from fucking with the recording by hopping on the keyboard, I spilled my water on the floor. But like we were saying, the intro to Fellowship of the Ring, it's short, sweet, to the point. It's the bare minimum of what you need to know about the world. She doesn't say, and then there was Frodo Baggins, and he was destined to destroy the One Ring. But we'll get to that. Also, you should probably know about Aragorn. He's really a king, but you're not going to find that out until later. No, she doesn't fucking do that shit. She just here's the world. And the way that the Golden Compass was written, and honestly, the way they shot the movie outside of that opening narration, you could figure it out on your own.
And that's the thing, is that, even in the book itself, there are some characters that talk about how important Lyra is. Mm-hmm. And the biggest and most important thing that they say multiple times is that she cannot know how important she is. So we can't fucking say this.
So when she runs away from Coulter in London and the Egyptians pick her up and they tell her, we've been watching you your whole life. You're very special. Shouldn't have happened?
No, they do actually do that.
I know they do.
Yeah. It's because at that point they've basically realized, there is a certain amount that we have to tell you so that you will listen to and trust us, but we're not going to tell you everything that we know. Yeah, they don't quite tell her in the film either. There's scenes with, Serafina Pekkala talking about the war to come where, Lyra's important because, spoiler, she's gonna kill God, but it's a mercy killing. God's basically dead at that point anyway. He wants to die. She's the phrase that Serafina uses in the book is she is destined to end destiny. Yeah. Fucking awesome shit too. But if she knows about it, it will fail and despair will consume the universe. Yeah. Or the multiverse, I guess, technically. Well, it's treated as one universe. I feel like multiverse shit wasn't really a thing yet. That's the thing that, especially this time with all of the multiverse shit that we're reading and getting and consuming in media now, it really feels like Phillip Pullman just wanted to explore that theory. Kind of like Jurassic Park was written Not that it had anything to do with dinosaurs, but because Michael Crichton really wanted to talk about chaos theory.
Yeah, right?
This really just feels like Phillip Pullman he had an axe to grind against the Catholic Church, and he had a really interesting theory about the multiverse that he wanted to talk about.
And it's actually one of my favorite multiverse theories, because, like, everything we get now is, like, the Spider-Man stuff, which is fine. And then I haven't seen it yet, I know, but Everything Everywhere All at Once, like, won a fucking Oscar and doing multiverse. But what I love about this is that the way that the sequels build upon the multiverse that this book exists in is tangible in a way that others aren't. Like, there is a device, the titular subtle knife, can cut through the veil between universes. That's what its function is. And the fact that that's controllable, but the unfortunate side effects of what it does, to not spoil that part of the book, makes the ending of it super fucking heartbreaking, because you know how close and tangible the other universes are, and you can no longer travel. Travel was the word I couldn't find. You can no longer travel from one to the other. And it's just kind of a shame that they don't really get into that in the first one until the last fucking chapter, which was cut out of the fucking movie!
Yes. I'm actually looking for what he talks about.
In what sense?
The way that he talks about the multiverse, or the idea of multiple universes.
Probably in that early one. The, like, chapter 2,
No,
3
he specifically starts talking about coins. So I found it. Okay. So this is when they get to the point, he's already basically told her what he's going to do, but she's, 12 and doesn't understand it. So she says, "What is that other universe? One of uncountable billions of parallel worlds. The witches have known about them for centuries, but the first theologians to prove their existence mathematically were excommunicated 50 or more years ago. However, it's true, there's no possible way of denying it. No one thought it would ever be possible to cross from one universe to another. That would violate fundamental laws, we thought. Well, we were wrong. We learned to see the world up there. If light can cross, so can we. And we had to learn to see it, Lyra, just as you learned to use the alethiometer. Now that world and every other universe came about as a result of possibility. Take the example of tossing a coin. It can come down heads or tails, and we don't know before it lands which way it's going to fall. If it comes down heads, that means that the possibility of its coming down tails has collapsed. Until that moment, the two possibilities were equal. But on another world, it does come down tails, and when that happens, the two worlds split apart. I'm using the example of tossing a coin to make it clearer. In fact, these possibility collapses happen at the level of elementary particles, but they happen in just the same way. One moment, several things are possible, the next moment only one happens, and the rest don't exist, except that other worlds have sprung into being on which they did happen." First of all, that section, which is page 320 of The Golden Compass.
Oh, so the beginning of the film, The Subtle Knife, which never came out?
That feels like A, Ian Malcolm talking about chaos theory in Jurassic Park.
Yep.
And B, it also feels very much like what leads to the Spider-Man Multiverse of Madness, or is that...
Multiverse of Madness was Doctor Strange. Spider-Man was Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home?
Possibly.
The one where, Tobey Maguire comes back and shit?
Yes.
Yeah, it was No Way Home.
Yeah, it feels like that, because it's like Doctor Strange is setting up the thing to get all of the universe, to make the thing not happen. I haven't seen it, so it's difficult. I'm just pulling from the trailer, and because Spider-Man keeps interrupting him, he fucks up, basically. And it's also similar to...
Isn't that one of the animated ones that happens?
No, that was the new one.
I get the animated one and the No Way Home confused.
Because
it's the same fucking plot.
Yeah, and that's...
Kinda.
Yeah, and then you've also got, the Doctor Strange and Endgame thing, where he's there's only one possible universe where this works, and this is the one. That's the same vibe that we're getting, and that's almost 30 years later. Other pop culture is starting to explore this in a mainstream media way.
I mean, the coin flipping example, I don't think Pullman came up with that himself. I believe that's a classic example of multiverse theory.
Yeah, but it's just this guy talking about it in ostensibly a novel for children.
Yeah.
Is very different.
It was almost certainly my first exposure to it. And also a lasting metaphor or example of how I actually do believe the universe works. I'm not going to get into that in this podcast.
I feel like you and I are on the same
it's
path where it comes to that.
It's more than just like the multiverse thing, but there's also like consciousness and God do come into it in a different way than Pullman describes later in this franchise. I'm not going to get into that tonight.
And it's kind of like butterfly effect and all that kind of shit.
Yeah. It's all kind of, weaves together. But yeah, that's a pretty, I don't want to say bog standard, but it's up there with like explaining a wormhole by folding a piece of paper in half and jamming a pencil through it.
Yeah, it's bog standard now, but like in 95.
Yeah.
For children.
True, for children.
Ostensibly.
Which, that scene happens under the, in the UK, titular Northern Lights, yes? Because it's through the Northern Lights where the veil between the universes is thin enough that he can see into the other world.
And he harnesses the energy to kill the child.
Yeah. And the thing that the movie did that pissed me off, and I understand why they said based on the novel Northern Lights and not based on the novel The Golden Compass, but saying it's based on the novel Northern Lights and we never fucking get to the Northern Lights, fuck you. Fuck you, New Line Cinema, you fucking pricks.
Okay, so, I know that obviously they changed the ending. From the little bit I saw while I was playing video games and watching TikToks in the room while you were watching it, it seems like they may have also shuffled around events.
They flipped the child cutting factory and the armored bear fight.
So they did the armored bear fight first?
They did the armored bear fight first, and then they get to the child factory. And honestly, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, the pacing is a little weird because it's kind of silly. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, you're faced with this existential threat that's like, they are literally essentially murdering children. And your main character, it almost happens to her, and the only reason it doesn't is because the people involved care about her.
Yeah, her mom walks in the room.
Yeah.
Moments before it's done.
Yeah. And then you have, oh yeah, also this bear has to get his honor back.
Yeah.
And it's a little...
So, in a cinematic sense, the stakes that they set at the beginning are the gobblers are kidnapping children, what's going on. So it makes sense to... Because the stakes at the beginning aren't, what's going to happen with the Bear King? Mm-hmm. It's the gobblers and the children. So it makes sense to have the climax be, this is what they're doing to the children, and then our hero saves the day. I actually appreciate that change.
Yeah, that's not bad.
In the sense of the whole trilogy, it doesn't really matter, because shit goes fucking crazy by the third book. But in the sense of a self-contained piece, I like the switch. Yeah,
I don't think it really matters. And I do think in building tension, it's your fun little Act 2 distraction.
Yeah, where Yorick and...
Yofer.
Ragnar, that's right. Have their climactic fight. They did change his name.
They changed it to Ragnar?
I think it's Ragnar, yeah. I have it in my notes.
I mean...
Because the reason being Yorick and Yofer are very similar names, but also, no, they're not.
It's like how in the Game of Thrones show, they changed one character's name to Yara, but there was actually another Yara, and it was because they didn't want to put Arya and Yara on screen at the same time. So they changed the names.
Fair. That's closer than Yorick and Yofer.
Yeah.
But I digress. I have a question for you.
Oh.
And this did not occur to me until I watched the movie, and it's based on one line of dialogue. Throughout the film, they refer to her as Mrs. Coulter.
Yes.
When she describes how she's actually Lyra's mom.
Uh-huh. Wait, she describes it? She's
the one who tells Lyra, yeah.
That's not how it happens.
Oh, no, yeah. She tells her, but she's like, your mother was a married woman, but not to your father, and something, and she had to leave her at Jordan College, and then that's when she came back, and she took you to London, and I found you here, and, like, that's how, like, it's revealed. I can't remember how she finds out. Does she ask the alethiometer?
No. They just, the Egyptians tell her.
Oh.
They reveal at the same time Lord Asriel is her father. They reveal that Mrs. Coulter is her mother.
I actually don't hate that change, then, from a film perspective. Because that's, considering the introduction to the movie, that's the only thing they leave kind of in the dark.
To be fair, it feels like they flattened a lot for the movie, which is fine. They usually do.
They have to.
But there's also some mommy issues happening.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of more like, it's less mommy issues, and it's more maybe Phillip Pullman has an issue with women. But
At least he wrote a novel from the perspective of a girl.
This is true.
Give him credit where it's due.
Yes. But it really feels like he's using, and again, I'm extrapolating based on the fact that I know where it goes, even though I haven't read them. He really is using Mrs. Coulter as an Eve archetype and Lord Asriel as an Adam archetype, except it feels like he's kind of pulling more of the Adam is not passive, Adam is active in destruction, whereas Eve is more passive, and that kind of feels like that's maybe there's some weird gender shit happening in there.
I mean, I'd prefer that than Eve is evil.
They're all evil!
Which is, well, I mean, the Eve archetype being the evil one, which is the fucking Bible in some translations. I understand that there are numerous, hundreds, thousands of translations of that book, but I digress.
And also, it does feel like it's kind of, again, that coming of age thing where it's just like, you can't trust any adults. And, like, there are multiple times where, like, even after she finds out Lord Asriel is her father, she's like, oh, he's super cool. And then when she meets with him in the end and he's, like, revealing his plan to her, she's like, he fucking sucks.
And then he kills her best friend.
But, like, Mrs. Coulter has already... She never touches her daemon, but the monkey beats up Pan.
Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah. And she already, like, hates and fears Mrs. Coulter, and it's just like, oh, okay, so we're just putting your mommy issues in the book then? Cool. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
The reason I wanted to bring up Mrs. Coulter is, did she kill Mr. Coulter?
No, Lord Asriel did.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember. And, like, she had a line of dialogue where, like, in that same scene where she's explaining that she's her mom. Mm-hmm. Coulter says something along the lines of, like, and then something happened, and now I can do what I want to do. And it made it sound like she killed her own husband to be free, which, go bitch. Like,
so, in the book, what happens, the story that you get told, is that she was having an affair with Lord Asriel, and she gets pregnant, and she tries to pass it off as her husband's until the baby is born, and very clearly Lyra takes after Lord Asriel. And so Mrs. Coulter just goes, fuck it, and abandons the baby, and basically passes him off to the Egyptians. Which, is Egyptian supposed to be a play on Egyptian, or gypsy, or both? And I understand that gypsy is not the correct term, but bear in mind this book was written in 95. Published in 95.
I always took it as a shortening of Egyptian.
Okay.
Which, imagine my surprise when there were an awful lot of honkies on the screen.
They felt, the vibes felt like Egyptian, almost like Mediterranean, Italian, Greek, that vibe.
It's like if the Romani took to the sea.
Exactly.
Is kind of how they're portrayed. So it's probably closer to...
It felt like Venetian almost.
Yeah, it's a weird vibe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're based on a real people, because I know that, like, the Samoyeds are Northern Russian. Yeah. And I had to look that up today to find that out. Because it's like a lot of it, because it's a parallel universe, is kind of us, but also like, how would the universe have evolved if everyone's soul lived outside of their body? And apparently it evolves into the church rules everything, which is, I mean, we almost got there here. Except enough people didn't believe in actual souls to ignore the church in our universe. It's kind of hard to go, God's not real, when your soul's sitting next to you going like, yeah, God's not real.
Also, and there's also like clear monsters in this universe that like aren't necessarily the same, because you've got like the cliff ghasts.
Oh, they're not in the movie.
You've got the actual ghosts.
Also not in the movie. Oh, I forgot they go into like a fucking like underground tomb thing and fight ghosts and shit in the beginning. So
she doesn't even fight ghosts. She's playing a trick on them and she fucks with their skulls. She switches the coins that mark their souls from skulls to the next, and she gets haunted, and then she goes down and fixes it and apologizes.
Like, look at all that good character building that the movie just fucking ignored.
So, how does Lyra talk?
Like a British child that lives in fucking Oxford.
So she has like, not posh per se.
Posh adjacent, sure.
So she doesn't have like the equivalent of a shitty Cockney accent.
No.
she has the equivalent of a shitty Cockney accent.
Sure fucking does in the book.
And she, like, it goes away when she's with Mrs. Coulter, and then when she goes back to the Egyptians, it comes back, and then she kind of, like, slides into this, like, half and half by the end.
Is she supposed to be maybe Irish? Because Lyra's a pretty Irish name. The only other one I can think of is Lyra Valkyria of the WWF. WWE, oh my god, what year is it? 2002?
Ow.
Of the WWE, and she is an Irish Intercontinental Champion? Yeah, she's the IC, because Chelsea Green's the US.
Yes. Maybe that... I mean, James McAvoy plays him, so...
That's one of those, like, things... Another thing about this that, like, I relate to the books that shall not be named. And that, oh man, this weird universe has this weird shit. Oh no, that's just England?
Yeah.
Like, how much of the weird fantasy in this is it's just England?
You know why I thought this was a sci-fi book and not a fucking fantasy book?
Why's that?
There's no goddamn map at the beginning, Phillip. With all of your fantasy novels, you gotta put a map at the beginning.
Well, just look at your normal map. It's just like ours, except the names are different. Just find a map from the 1920s. It's probably the same. I think that would still have Svalbard on there.
And, you know, the people from Norway are fucking bears.
Hey, talking polar bears went extinct in the 1940s in our universe. But in their universe, they knew how to make armor from the sky iron. And then they would fight for their kingdom. It's just like, you know, it landed on heads in our universe and tails in theirs. You know what I mean?
Is it made clear that Mrs. Coulter is part of the reason that everything sucks in the Bear Kingdom?
Nope.
Okay, so that's not, like, that's fully cut.
Yeah, it's fully cut from the movie, I think.
Okay.
Like, the only bits of Bear Kingdom...
So he's not obsessed with, like, being a person?
Ragnar/Yofer?
Yes.
Yes, he is. That comes into play that he wants a demon.
Oh, okay.
Because Lyra still does the Lyra Silvertongue. You know, she goes in and she does her...
Yeah.
I'm Yorick's daemon, but I could be yours. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Die. It works.
I do think it's really interesting how, like, she's very good at tricking everyone around her.
Mm-hmm.
And she knows that she's very good at it. And it's like she kind of uses it to her advantage in different ways. Like, amongst children, she just immediately becomes a leader all the time. And the adults that recognize that she's, like, not applying herself or whatever are like, you need, like, her dad knows that she's just, like, fucking itching to get away from him whenever he's there.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know, she's an interesting character. I liked her a little bit more the second time I read the book.
There's a scene, and I know I told you about this before, but, like, in regards to her lying, there's a scene later where she essentially has to, like, travel the River Styx. Like, she gets in a boat with the fucking Grim Reaper, and she hears voices in the background, and they start, like, whispering her name, and by the end of the journey, she can't tell if they're saying Lyra or Liar. And that moment in that book stuck with me forever.
That's actually, you mentioned that last night, and he plants a seed of that in here because Ma Costa calls her a liar, and she takes offense immediately, and then Ma is like, no, I'm not, like, that's not an insult, that's a compliment.
Yeah. And it's interesting that she's the one who ends up, I just realized she ends up with the truth teller.
Yeah.
Like, she knows what the truth is. She's not lying out of ignorance. She's lying out of not malice, but she's lying with intent when she lies.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting dynamic of that character I never really grasped before. I like that.
And it's like, part of it is just being a child and lying, because it's like lying and fabricating stories and imagination. Like, that's just kind of something that more or less gets beaten out of you as a child.
Yep.
As you age, but like, she just, so much of her play with her friends is just, oh, I'm telling this story and I'm expanding on it, and it's like half-truths and stuff I sort of heard and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. Is it time we talk about the church?
We have to.
I mean,
it takes up so much of our life.
Considering that the end of this trilogy, like I said before, involves Lyra and her new friend Will killing God.
Yeah, we should probably talk about the church.
Or do we want to save that until we talk about the production a little bit more? Because that comes into play.
The production was hell.
Actually, I didn't see anything weird about, like, the actual shooting being problematic. It was just, you know, the church being the church around the film coming out.
Would this have been... Who was the shitty pope that nobody liked?
Benedict?
Yeah. Was he pope?
I know he became pope when I was in high school, because that's when John Paul II died, right?
Yeah.
He died in, like, 2004 or 5, maybe?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it would have been Benedict, because Benedict only lasted a couple years.
Yeah, because he was, like, deeply unpopular.
Yeah, because no one liked that motherfucker. Isn't he still alive?
He is still alive. He stepped down.
Yeah, I know, but, like, he's, like, one of the few that has.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was still pope. He was pope until 2013.
Okay. Have we had Francis since 2013, or is that they were...
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Francis.
Hell yeah. So, yeah, it would have been during his reign of terror. But this would have been written before that.
Yes.
Which is funny, because this is the book is way more anti, especially Catholicism, and anti, like, Orthodox religion in general.
Murder. Well, no, he's not. I mean, he's kind of a priest.
Oh, the fucking wormy looking dude that poured the poison in the wine?
Yes.
And how, like, it is...
The master of the college.
It is forbidden to say the word dust because they don't want you to know that there's a physical reality to original sin.
Well, they think it's original sin.
I should read the Book of Dust to find out, because I'd probably get into it there.
As of the end of this book, that is the theory that Lord Asriel has. Is that it is physical sin. It is...
It's Coulter that explains that in the film.
Oh, no, that's part of his...
thing at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand why they wormed that into where they did, where she explains that. But it's also, like, a very specific doctrine, the word I'm looking for, or, like, belief in some sects that up until a certain age, you're still considered sinless in the eyes of God, and then once you've committed your first sin or your first big sin or whatever, then you're a sinner and you must repent. And, like, that's kind of when the daemons stop transforming.
The vibe is basically once you hit puberty and you start getting horny, it ruins your life.
Yeah, but it's related to, like, an our world doctrine in some religious sects.
Yeah.
Because when I was reading this, all 3 times, no, the last time I read it, no, but, like, the first couple times I read this, I was still an active churchgoer. The second time, my father was a pastor of said church, and he had finished seminary. He might have still been in seminary when I read it the first time. So I would hear bits of what he was learning about doctrine and different beliefs and stuff like that. So I had a pretty, I wouldn't say unique perspective while reading it, but I approached it from that perspective the first time I read it. And still, for whatever reason, didn't pick up that the church is bad. Because this is fantasy.
Well, yeah, because it's the Catholics.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because it's based on the Catholics, and my church believed that the Catholics weren't really Christian.
Well, they also think that women aren't people, so...
But I can also say, hey, this is a work of fiction that literally takes place in a parallel universe that is not our own. This church isn't my church. You know who couldn't do that? The actual Catholic Church.
That sounds about right.
So I'll leave you on that cliffhanger if you want to talk about the production a bit.
Yeah.
All right, director. Chris... you will know why I don't know how to pronounce this. It's either Chris Weitz or Chris Weitz. W-E-I-T-Z.
It's probably Weitz.
It's probably Weitz. Directed by Chris Weitz, who has also directed Twilight New Moon.
Oh, boy.
And About a Boy.
Okay.
And it was written by Chris Weitz,
oh,
who also wrote the live-action Cinderella.
Apparently that's pretty good.
Huh. And Rogue One.
The best Star Wars movie?
Here's the thing. I gave 2 examples of his directing and 2 examples of his writing. And one of each was definitely better than the other of each. The other one. The 2 that were better, About a Boy and Rogue One, he co-directed and co-wrote. I think he did About a Boy with his brother, and I can't remember who he co-wrote Rogue One with. But this is, like, I looked at his filmography, both as a director and a writer, and this is a man who works so much better in a partnership.
Got it. He needs someone to bounce ideas off of and someone to tell him no.
Exactly. Lyra was played by Dakota Blue Richards.
I recognize her name, but I don't know from what.
She did time. She was a series regular on Skins, the BBC one.
Okay.
And most recently, I think you'll appreciate this. She's done a lot of stage work recently including the plays Streetcar Named Desire and Arcadia.
Oh.
Yeah, we know that one play.
Only one. It's all we learned in our theater education.
Yeah. When she was announced back in my IMDb forum days, every post about the announcement had somebody in the thread, this is not Dakota Fanning. This is a different Dakota. It's not Dakota Fanning. Relax. It was very funny at the time. Mrs. Coulter was played by Nicole Kidman. Previous episode of the pod, Practical Magic. She won her Oscars for The Hours. She's in Eyes Wide Shut. Nicole fucking Kidman. Lord Asriel is played by Daniel Craig, who played James Bond from 2006 to 2021. He was also in the film Munich, and he was in the Knives Out series. Is in the Knives Out series.
Is in. They haven't killed him yet.
Funny story. Before they made this movie, Lyra, Dakota Blue Richards, saw a stage production of the book, because it is a theater play as well, and fell in love with the role, wanted to play Lyra, and she ended up getting to do that, which is awesome. Lord Asriel in the play was played by former Bond actor Timothy Dalton.
Honestly, Daniel Craig as Lord Asriel is great casting.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of great casting, Lee Scoresby is played by Sam Elliott.
My dad!
When's the Texan? Oh, there's Sam Elliott. I bet he's the Texan. Yep, he sure is the Texan.
Do you know who plays the Texan in the HBO?
I do not recall.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Weird. Sam Elliott, also known for his work in Tombstone, Gettysburg, Ghost Rider, Hulk. You know the classics.
Fucking Ghost Rider.
Serafina Peccolo was played by Ava Green, who was Vesper Lind in Casino Royale. She was also...
That's why she looks so familiar.
Yep, the year after she did this movie with Daniel Craig. She was also in Kingdom of Heaven. She was in the sequels to 300 and Sin City. Yeah, weird, right? The voice cast included Ian McKellen playing Yorick Berenson. Bernison.
Berenson is Animorphs.
Ian McKellen played Yorick, Magneto, Gandalf. Pan was played by Freddie Highmore, friend of the pod from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Really?
Yeah.
No wonder you were bitching every time he
He
talked.
wouldn't shut up! How the amount of times these two characters are sneaking and Pan is like, be quiet or they'll hear us! Shut the fuck up, Pan! You're a menace. And Ragnar, who, as we discussed, was Yofer in the book, was played by Ian McShane.
Ooh, that's solid.
Also known for his work on the John Wick franchise and his better 2007 film, The Stepdad and Hot Rod.
What?
And we also had cameos by Kathy Bates as the Texan's demon. And because they wanted to make Lord of the Rings again, Christopher Lee for one line. One line. John Malkovich had more to do in Aragon than Christopher Lee. He shows up in one scene, says one line, and then fucks right off.
Is he just like a church official?
Yeah.
Okay.
And is he gonna come back in the sequel? Probably fucking not, because the sequels don't take place in this universe. Anyway, I think I mentioned earlier, it won Best Visual Effects at the Academy Awards that year. Beating out... Oh, what did it beat out? Transformers. Everyone thought Transformers was gonna win that year. And it was the Golden Compass. And I was pissed. And because I thought, and still do, that Transformers, the first one, is a better movie than the Golden Compass. Now, we always like alternates when we talk about our cast and crew.
We do love alternates.
Like I mentioned before, they purchased the rights in 2002. By 2003, New Line had a script in hand by none other than Tom Stoppard.
Ooh, that would have been good.
I had the exact same initial thought until I read further and found out that his deviated from the book even more. So I'm not 100% sure it would have been better.
The thing is, I trust Tom Stoppard to deviate.
Yeah. I mean, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead.
Yeah.
Arcadia, speaking of... As far as director, now this was 5 years in development, so handful of directors. The first offered was Ridley Scott.
I mean, considering what we've seen with Prometheus, maybe that was...
Well, he wouldn't be riffing on his own universe, so he might have done okay. What was he doing around then? What did I just watch that he directed?
It was one of those...
Oh, Thelma and Louise. That was way before. Never mind. Did he do Noah around then? A little bit later? I think he did Noah in 2011, 2012, 13. It was right when I moved to LA. I think that was Ridley Scott.
All I can think of is the Steve Carell, and I know that's not.
Ridley Scott, he was offered it in 2003, you know, the year he made Matchstick Men.
Oh, okay, yeah, better movie.
And between when he was offered it and when this movie came out, he also did Kingdom of Heaven, American Gangster.
Yeah, no, he made a correct choice.
Yeah, he probably did okay with that. Other directors who almost made the movie were Brett Ratner, X-Men, Sex Crimes. And
Sex Crimes as in things he committed, not
a movie called Sex Crimes.
Correct.
And Sam Mendes. He did some of the Craig Bonds. I think he did Skyfall, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he did Skyfall and Spectre.
Pullman himself had some ideas on casting.
Of course he did.
For Lord Asriel, he wanted Jason Isaacs.
Yeah, no, that's correct.
For Lee Scoresby, he wanted Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh my god. Lee Scoresby is too polite.
I have had it with his motherfucking dust on my motherfucking airship. Hester, open some motherfucking windows. And for Mrs. Coulter, he wanted... Oh, funny, Nicole Kidman.
Really?
Yeah.
See, weirdly, like, I get it, especially in that era, but, like, there's...
He thought her casting was so perfect. If you open an edition... When was that one published? The edition that you read?
The edition that I read was 95.
That's the 95 publishing?
I think.
No way.
No, it can't be because it has the major motion picture.
Yeah. Oh.
It must be 2007.
Okay. What color is her hair in the book?
Black.
Okay. Editions following that one, he changed it to blonde.
Yeah, so that's a thing. Lyra has blonde hair.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of her parents have blonde hair.
They both have blonde hair. What are you talking about? Blonde Bond and Nicole Kidman. But she's special, Cody. Her hair needs to match her compass.
So, I actually have a casting thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I did listen to a portion of this on audiobook.
Okay, before you get into that, two more alternates for Asriel. Paul Bettany.
Not mean enough.
Clive Owen.
I don't immediately connect a face to that name.
Give me a sec.
Okay. Paul Bettany I get, but didn't he do the albino around this time?
I'm not sure.
That would have been Tom Hanks. Angels and Demons?
Angels and Demons. Oh, yeah, I think so.
Paul Bettany.
Yeah, you're right.
I had a friend. The only reason I know that is because I had a friend in high school who was weirdly obsessed with Paul Bettany in A Knight's Tale, and so started watching all of the other.
Oh
shit
yeah, he was the writer in A Knight's Tale, right? He was fucking what's his name?
He was Chaucer.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got it. I figured it out. Clive Owen was nominated for an Academy Award in 2004 for Closer. Sin City, Inside Man, Children of Men.
Are there any, like, rom-coms?
Cody. You don't even like rom-coms.
No, but I've seen more of them.
The Rich Man's Wife?
Nope.
Gosford Park?
Nope. I'm just gonna Google it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah. Anyway, you were saying about the audiobook?
Yes. So, the audiobook. I told you this last night. Because you asked me about the pronunciation of daemon/demon.
Mm-hmm.
I have a theory about the audiobook. Because it is narrated by a full voice cast and Phillip Pullman, the author. I suspect that Phillip Pullman wanted to narrate the audiobook because he was tired of having to correct everyone's pronunciations on his made-up words.
Well, maybe he shouldn't have put an A in fucking Damon if he wanted it pronounced demon. That's on him. Oh, he was basing it off the Latin. Yeah, I used to sing in fucking Latin. Daemon is how that word is pronounced.
I mean, technically he's using... I think he uses combined. It's not just like D-A-E. It's like a weird combined
It's that like Greek letter. Not Greek. That actual like Latin letter.
Yeah.
Where it's like combined. It sure is. It is in the movie too because you see it written one time on the soul cutting machine. The incision...
Human and Damon.
Yeah, no, like there's like a fucking switches and one of the plaques is like human or person and the other is Damon. And then she goes and she flicks all the switches and then throws like a fucking toaster into it and it explodes. It's really weird. So I've mentioned a lot about the production of this Not like the actual like filming being hell, but the production of this taking a long time.
Yes.
And it's because of the church. New Line got this and made this movie for money. Blatant. They upfront about it. They used Lord of the Rings in the marketing. They wanted to capitalize on that. It is a very specifically written novel in terms of its view of the church, as we've discussed. New Line realized a lot of people are Christians. A lot of Catholics see movies. Don't want to piss them off. So they made sure that everything was softened. They didn't want, blatant Catholic imagery. Of course, the filmmakers, being actual fucking artists, understanding the point of that, still wanted to put some, visuals in there. And Weitz called it like, I can't remember exactly. Like, he was like, there's a lot of euphemisms for the church in the movie. But it's not explicitly referred to as a church. It's just the magisterium. Yeah. Even though that's a church-ass word. So, what ended up happening was New Line wanted money, so they tried to strike a balance. And the balance they found was that fans hated how much it was neutered, and the church still didn't like it. And the balance meant they didn't make any money. And so we didn't get sequels.
I mean, that's the thing, is you really just need, if you're doing something for money, just go whole hog. You need to go full into fucking pissing off people, and that's how you make your money.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen grifters do it hundreds of times.
Because that's the thing. This was still 2007. They didn't realize what the world is now. If they had made it word for word the book, Catholics would have been paying to hate watch the thing. And pastors would be coming into their evangelical churches and saying, I saw a movie the other day and it's the devil and don't see this movie. And then everyone's going to see the movie. Oh, I got to know what the devil looks like in this world. I'm doing research for the church. And ask me how I know how that's how the church acts.
The thing is,
everyone saw everything and just pretended they didn't.
The thing is, it is explicitly the scientists that are doing evil shit in this universe.
The only problem is the scientists are working under the government, which is the church.
Yeah, but it's that thing that they talk about where it's like, they have plausible deniability regardless. And it's, to an extent, Lord Asriel is considered a heretic.
But he's the one doing actual science.
Yeah.
He's also doing actual science.
Yeah, he's doing this actual science, and the church is trying to kill him because he's doing this actual science because they realize that what he's doing is morally reprehensible.
To them, it's reprehensible. It's not. I mean, to me as well, killing a child is reprehensible. But it seemed to me like, at least what I gleaned from it in this viewing of the movie, having read the books, is that Pullman is calling for separation of church and state, which means a lot more in England than it does in the US. Although, oh my God, separate church and state, please. There's a reason. But if you can't explicitly call them a church that is also the state,
it's very clearly this just feels like, okay, what if the Church of England of the Renaissance never relinquished its control and instead just grew its control and just kind of let people start experimenting more,
Yeah. And on the boycott, Pullman himself, I pulled a quote. Pullman says, I should mention, the church did try to boycott the film.
Of course they did.
And that's the excuse New Line gave as to why they didn't do the sequel. The real reason is it didn't make enough money.
Yeah. Is
that because of the boycott or not? It made less than they expected. Is it because of the boycott, or is it because, it wasn't very good? Who's to say? But on the boycott itself, Phillip Pullman has said, quote, "Why don't we trust readers? Why don't we trust filmgoers? Oh, it causes me to shake my head with sorrow that such nitwits could be loose on the world."
Now, did you find anything about what he thought about the movie?
It's actually very funny what he thought, because it is very clear that he didn't really like it, but he liked the performances. He liked Nicole Kidman, he liked Dakota Blue Richards, he liked the cast, and he wanted to see Subtle Knife done with this cast. But he was kind of about the film itself. I actually have a lot more on Weitz, and I feel like it's because he tried to go to fans of the book and be like, guys, I tried, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Because first of all, his first script was like 3.5 hours long.
Good Lord.
The cut I watched was like 1:55. And I found one source that said the studio opted for a, quote, failed length of under 2 hours. They considered the length a failure. I don't even know what to take of that. But it was because they wanted to maximize revenue.
Yeah.
Because if you show a 2-hour movie in a theater, you get an extra showing or two a day over a 3.5-hour movie.
Yeah.
Weitz knew what he was getting into. He, at one point, said that he knew he was going to be denounced by both fans of the book and people who didn't like the book.
Well, then maybe
and the studio for wanting another Lord of the Rings, and this was not. No offense to Pullman and his work. Like I've said before, I like this novel. I love the later two.
I mean...
But it's not Lord of the Rings. It's not that quite that built of a universe.
At least this is readable.
That's true. In regards to the ending, marketing pressure led to the ending, and we talked about that a little bit, but...
Don't want to send him home crying.
Gotta send him home happy, and then we'll make him cry at the start of the next one. He has, like I said before, he indicated that New Line cut his film to shit, and a director's cut could exist, but ain't nobody gonna pay $17 million for it.
Yeah.
He also told Time Magazine that... First of all, he told an audience at Comic-Con that his experience with the film was terrible. And he told Time Magazine that he felt he was being faithful to the book, but he was working at odds with the studio. So there's that fucking pressure. Weird that a novel about the overreaching power of an organization to control people's lives was overreaching into the film adaptation of that. You know what I'm saying?
Something to investigate there.
It did get through. This film did get through to one person. And you've mentioned him before. Twice, in fact. So, rule of threes. George R.R. Martin saw this movie and thought, yeah, maybe Game of Thrones could be a TV show.
This
got us Game of Thrones.
So, for those of you who have not read the piece written, I believe, in 95, when George R.R. Martin left Hollywood.
He was a screenwriter, right?
He was a screenwriter, and he was so fed up and disgusted with the entire Hollywood process that he left with the explicit and stated intent to write something that was unfilmable. He wanted to write something that was so violent, bloody, sexual, and atrocious that no one in Hollywood would ever even think of adapting it. And that was Game of Thrones.
Here comes HBO. Titties, incest, blood? Who cares? We're a paid channel.
He explicitly set out to write something that betrayed the reader at every step.
And we ate that shit up.
And that's funny that this fucking softball-ass movie is what was like, he was like, yeah, maybe I could do Hollywood again.
This softball movie. Do I have any other rants I want to go on? I forgot the scene when she prevents Azrael from drinking the poison. She, like, knocks the glass out of his hands, and then they hear footsteps, and she goes and hides in the wardrobe again. They just leave the fucking broken glass and wine on the floor. No one fucking notices. It made me laugh. Oh, the spy fly scene? She's fighting the spy fly on the boat, and there's, like, 6 dudes in the background just watching, not helping. Made me laugh. This movie includes people talking to their own souls to express how they feel in the moment, and yet still opened with that narration. I was very mad about that.
Now, with the spy fly, is there also the scene later where
she makes her open it up and it attacks her?
Yes.
Right after she tells her she's her mom. But I don't remember her taking the tin. I remember...
So what
somebody else taking the tin, but I could just be misremembering the movie.
So what happens is she has 2 tins. She has the decoy that she gives to the Egyptians to basically to keep them safe, and she keeps the actual one with herself.
That doesn't happen in the movie.
Yeah. And then she tricks her into thinking it's the alethiometer, basically.
Oh, here's a bit that pissed me off. Just a poor decision. Ian McKellen is Yorick.
Yes.
So, Ian McKellen, throughout this movie, and part of it is they turned up the bass on his voice in the mix, because he's a bear. He's like 12 feet tall. He weighs 700 pounds. He's a big fucking dude, right? But what it sounds like is Gandalf the White casting spells. Like, his voice has so much reverence and bass, and it fills the room. And when they first meet him, he's supposed to be drunk eating garbage in an alley. He should sound drunker. Why doesn't he sound... He's explaining how, oh, they took my armor and they made me drunk. But it's like, they took my armor and they made me drunk. Like, no, they didn't. You're not drunk. What are you doing?
Ian McKellen is too powerful.
And they get this after, all they say to him is like, we'd like to offer you a job, and they get his whole fucking life story. Lyra rolled a nat 20 charisma check.
Just repeatedly.
Like, her strength is her talking. And I love that. And I will say Dakota Blue Richards. Dakota Blue Richards?
Yes.
Yeah. Her performance in this, because this film is the epitome of the sum is less than its parts. Because there are some really good actors and really solid casting choices in this. I don't actually disagree with any casting choice. The problem is there's only like 3 scenes where adults are talking to each other.
Yeah.
It's adults talking to kids or talking to CG animals. And I will give Dakota credit. She killed it talking with like Yorick, talking with Pan, because she was still young enough. I think she was about 12, 13 when she did this. And she was still young enough to have that childish imagination that you need to act in front of a green screen. Whereas, like, we've all seen the clips from The Hobbit a few years later where Ian McKellen has a breakdown on set because there's no other actors there. And that was like Daniel Craig is doing that, and Nicole Kidman is doing that, and fucking Sam Elliott's doing that. You know what I mean? It's a lot of that. Dust is original sin, but let's be vague about it. It's not pissed off Christians. I wrote, like, towards the end of my notes, gotta remind the audience the story. It's not a difficult story to remember, the bit with, like, just the basics of the kidnappings and the finding that out. Like,
yeah.
But they took way too many excuses. They didn't trust the audience, like we've been saying.
Did they show you a kidnapping in the...
Yes. I actually had a note about that. So, we see Coulter meeting Lyra, and she invites her to go to the north, and Lyra looks happy about it because she wants to go to the north to see Asriel. Mm-hmm. And then under the table, we see the golden monkey, wrap his arms around Pan. Like, a subtle, not so subtle metaphor of, she's in her grasp now. And the very next scene is when we see Billy Costa get kidnapped, and you see the golden monkey, but Coulter's in the shadows as if we're not supposed to know it's her?
So, in the book, you don't know it's her because you see the kidnapping scene first.
Yeah. See, they kind of fucked that up in the movie, huh?
Because it's that thing of building tension and suspense for the audience, because you as the audience know what's happening, but the characters don't.
But you gotta trust the audience to do that.
So, for funsies, I'm just gonna go through some of the characters in the HBO version.
Oh, ooh, yes.
And tell you who they are played by.
Okay.
So, for Lyra...
Okay.
She is played by Daphne Keane, Laura from Logan.
Oh!
Yeah!
Okay. Let me see if I know any of other stuff real quick. Keane?
Yeah.
Oh.
D-A-F-N-E.
Yeah, I was just gonna say she spells it with an F. Oh my god, she comes back in Deadpool and Wolverine. Spoilers. Oh, she must... Oh, never mind. Oh yeah, she didn't do a lot other than that. Okay, yeah. Carry on.
For Barter Coram.
He's the head of the Egyptians, right?
No, the frail old Egyptian that Lyra hangs out with. James Cosmo, friend of the pod, from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Okay. Oh, Santa Claus!
Yes.
Okay.
So, I don't know this guy. I mean, he was in Game of Thrones, whatever. But John Fa, Lord of the Western Egyptians, is black.
Oh, good.
They have him played by a black guy.
I don't think there was a single black person in this movie. I don't think there was any melanin in this movie.
Poor Roger is not even a blue mark, like, not even a hyperlink.
Who is Roger?
This is his only role. His name is Lewin Lloyd. James McAvoy is Lord Asriel.
Okay. Oh, no, he did some other work.
Oh, he doesn't have a...
Yeah, he doesn't have a Wikipedia because no one cares enough. Oh, that was mean. I'm sorry, bro. He did Doctor Who.
Okay.
He was in The Alienist. He's worked. He's fine.
As I said earlier, Lin-Manuel Miranda is Lee Scoresby.
Wild.
Scoresby, the Texan.
Wild casting choice. Inexplicable. That man has never been west of the Central Time Zone. That is a New York man through and through.
So, Will...
Oh, because we get into the sequels.
Yes, Will is played by someone named Amir Wilson.
All right, let me look.
He has not done very much. He's only 21.
Well, yeah, he'd have to be young. Oh, he was in the 2020 Secret Garden?
Yes.
Oh, he was in The Boy Who Would Be King. Or The Kid Who Would Be King.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm just kind of...
Also, that is not a white man.
No, it's not. Andrew Scott, the only name that I vaguely recognize as I keep scrolling here, plays Colonel John Perry.
Oh, that's Will's dad. Spoilers, maybe?
Yes.
Or is it not his dad? Is that the
twist?
twist?
It's his dad.
It is his dad. I can't remember.
Yes.
Oh, no, his dad is dead. But I think he finds his dad at some point in another universe. It's been a minute.
He's a different person in Lara's universe. Yes.
That's right. It wasn't until that happens in the novels that I realized that the Golden Compass takes place in modern times and not Victorian England.
Yes. And I'm just scrolling through to see if there's anybody else. Kit Connor plays Pan. He is he was in Rocket Man. He was in The Wild Robot.
Let me take a look-see through the cast list here. Recognize anybody? Ruth Wilson as Mrs. Coulter.
Yep.
Oh, she is in Locke. Means you don't see her face in that movie. But she's not, what's his face? I can't get over Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge is John Perry's demon. Is it ever explained why your demon is the opposite gender as you?
The last time I read it, it's not explained that I can recall, but I believe they do mention that some people have it the same gender, and I always associated that with queer or trans folk.
Okay. Yeah, there's one guy that she meets who's a sailor, and I think his daemon is the same gender as him because she points it out.
I believe you're right.
Because there's also the, like, weird fucking shit with the snow leopard and the monkey where they're, like, fucking while Lyra's parents are macking on the snow over the dead child.
Yeah. Shit gets weird. So, would you recommend the book? Is it something that you would want to explore, read the sequels?
I enjoyed it more the second time. It's not that long, but it's a little bit slow burn, and because it is just written in English, but it's pretentious. Go into it expecting to be a little sci-fi, and you'll enjoy it more. I don't dislike it. It's fine. I do kind of want to finish the series this time, or read more of it.
Well, we have them. I mean, I kind of want to pick up Subtle Knife right now, too.
But, yeah. So I'd say, like, a soft recommend. What about you? Do you recommend the movie?
Tasha Robinson of the AV Club wrote, "The film fails by baldly revealing up front everything that the novel is trying to get you to wonder about and to explore slowly." And The Atlantic wrote, "With $180 million at stake, the studio opted to kidnap the book's body and leave behind its soul."
That's a good line.
And I tend to agree with them. It's very clear that this came out in an era following the success of the Harry Potter franchise. They got a guy who later directed a Twilight film to do it. I think Twilight came out the same year or the year prior.
Something like that, yeah.
It was explicitly an attempt to cash in on the success of The Lord of the Rings. New Line made this movie to make money, and it shows. Because they got Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings had been attempted before. The fucking Beatles tried to do the Lord of the Rings. Ralph Bakshi did an animated Lord of the Rings. It exists. They did not expect Lord of the Rings to do what it did. And that's because Peter Jackson went to some friends he knew that did special effects for him in the past and went, "Hey, I'm doing Lord of the Rings, can you help?" And they built Weta Workshop from the ground up. And they took so much pride and heart And they put so much of their blood and soul into the art that they were making. Everyone making The Lord of the Rings was making a piece of art. And that's why 25 years later, those movies still hold up so well, and they're so rewatchable, and they're so great.
That's why they came to the Oscars, accepted all of their Oscars, and went back to finish filming.
And fucking right? And New Line went, let's do that again. We are the ones who made that happen because we're New Line and we're perfect. So we will manipulate and force this movie into being the next Lord of the Rings, and we will make it happen instead of letting artists make art and hoping it succeeds. And that's an overall issue with Hollywood, and has been for, I mean, this was almost 20 years ago when this happened. It's been this way for a long time in Hollywood, that like the art lasts. When you get artists that find a way to walk that line between the studio and the money and making a good piece of art, and they succeed, then you get a Lord of the Rings, you get a Star Wars, you get a Die Hard, you know? And Die Hard might be a stretch. I don't know if that's art, but it's a really good fucking movie. When you don't quite walk that balance, you get what we're talking about here. You get Aragon.
You get Divergent.
You get The Golden Compass. Thank God, and I haven't seen it yet, so I don't have an actual opinion on it yet, but thank God HBO went, let's give this franchise the money and time it deserves, and stay the fuck out of it and let the art speak for itself. And HBO, especially in 2019, was in a place where they could do that. So I do definitely want to at least watch the pilot of that movie, or of that show.
It's only 23 episodes.
Yeah, but it's HBO, so they're like 45 minutes each and to an hour, depending on what... Hey.
Just the sad little face punches.
The cats are fighting. Toby, get off the turntable. I don't want you guys on there anymore. That's why that's there. I'll put some tinfoil on that thing. Scare them. But what HBO, by criticisms I've read, had succeeded with this franchise is where New Line failed. And yeah, it's not a great movie. It's watchable. It's only 2 hours. But if you've read the book and you like the book, don't waste your time.
You're going to spend it angry the whole time.
No, not angry the whole time. You'll turn it off after the opening narration that spoils it. If you want to go on the ride that the book takes you on, this movie does not take you on the same ride.
It doesn't earn it.
Nah, not at all. Well, we have one more to close out our season of bad film adaptations of YA novels. And we're gonna get a little weird. And I just want to make sure this is actually available to watch.
Okay.
So this is a novel I read in 2006. And I know that because I read most of it in Thailand. And I was only there in 2006. And they adapted it to film in 2008. And I did not see it, did not even know it came out until like a month ago. I found out they made this into a movie. And it is kind of available. Oh, speaking of Paul Bettany. Anyway, the novel we're going to be talking about is Inkheart, which was adapted in 2008 into a motion picture starring Brendan Fraser and Paul Bettany.
You know what? It was also New Line.
Was it fucking New Line?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Oh, this might be really repetitive then. Well, if it's repetitive, it's repetitive. Whee! But next time around is Inkheart. Until then, you can find us on the Blue Sky. Our handles are in the link tree in the description to this podcast. You can send us suggestions for future episodes of the pod, even though we have like a good 9-10 future episodes already planned out from here. Please send us suggestions. We definitely have holes to fill. You can send them to soonmajorpod@gmail.com. Please check out our other podcast that we do with Mark Lucas, The Treatment, a podcast about stories. We just dropped today 2 new episodes on our feed, so you probably already saw them, on the 12 Dancing Princesses and the 3 Little Pigs. And we have future episodes coming out on Little Red Hen. We've got the story of Cassandra. We've got Little Red Riding Hood coming out the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. I don't know how to end these. I always forget how we end these.
We don't have the professionalism of Mark.
Toby, say something. Make your podcast debut.
He's so quiet, though.
He's so quiet. I can get him to purr.
Rubbing his face against the microphone.
I'm trying to get him to purr into the microphone. It's not working.
Stop that. Nobody likes it, though.